Hi, it's David Oates from FinderMonkey, as was, now changing our name to Relative Connections if you watched the video we did last week, and Joanna North Associates. We're still getting used to the name change at FinderMonkey over to Relative Connections, so you'll probably hear a little bit of both names going on for a little while, but we're hoping to have that fully changed over in the next few weeks. This week's video, I wanted to have a chat about DNA just because it's something we're dealing with seemingly more and more now. It's become a massive part of the work that we do, but also last week we saw the return of ITV's DNA journey, where two famous celebrities learn about their history and ancestors that they perhaps didn't know of through having a DNA test and then using genealogical research to find out more about that person. It's become very, very popular because people are learning about their ancestors, which they've often been interested in. Historically, we've had the ability to search using records only. The DNA opens up a whole new world of possibilities for people. It's very interesting, and that program obviously is really, really interesting to people who are just interested generally in their family history and who they might be connected to. What we're using it for, I think, is even more intense, really, because we're helping people generally find really close relatives. The thing that we're seeing it being most useful for is finding birth fathers, because often people know very little about a birth father and don't have even a name to start with. And it's incredibly important, people who are looking for relatives they've never known who weren't that close to them but have an interesting story is one thing, but imagine not knowing who your father was and not knowing what they looked like, how they were as a person, what they did with their lives. Quite an important thing for most people, and that's why it's such a valuable tool now, because it opens up the possibility to find somebody where historically there was no chance. If you had no idea of who your father was, no name or no specifics, then knowing that you can have a DNA test that will potentially link you to the right family is incredible. And that's something we're working with so much these days. I would encourage anybody who's perhaps given up hope and thought, well, I'm never going to know, and I wanted to know, then this is something that can definitely help you. It's not always straightforward, so it's still quite a complicated process. It's still something that we're learning about every day, because so many more DNA matches are coming online all the time. The way that people match up, it varies, and obviously we're working with quite distant relatives sometimes, and the more distant a relative is, the more potential ways there are for them to be related to you, and there's lots of other things that can affect DNA results as well. But it's incredibly interesting work, and on the whole it does lead to answers. So if you're thinking about finding somebody, particularly a birth father, but it would work with any birth parent or grandparents even, who you don't know who they are and you would like to find out more about them, I would encourage you to do a DNA test. There are lots of websites offering the DNA tests. Ancestry appears to have the biggest by quite some way, so it's usually the best place to start, but the websites like MyHeritage, very good. Family Tree DNA, you can do ones like 23andMe, which is a little bit more centered around not so much the family tree stuff, but it is very helpful. A lot of them now also have medical stuff on there, so if you're interested in your medical history, it can help you understand if there's anything in there to do with medical history as well. So in short, if you're looking for somebody and you've never thought it was possible, like a father or a birth mother or even a grandparent, then DNA may well be the answer to what you've been trying to do. We can help people with that, obviously, but try it out yourself, get the DNA test done and see where it leads you. And if you are looking for somebody, good luck. I hope you manage to find them. If we can help, obviously we'd be more than happy to do that. Thanks for watching again this week. Watch out for that program. It's on ITV. It's called DNA Journeys. But yeah, check it out, and thanks for watching.